Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a list of 20 must-play single-player games you absolutely can't miss in 2025. These are the games that really show why playing solo is still one of the best ways to experience gaming. Whether it's a story that pulls you in, a world that makes you lose track of time, or a gameplay loop that just feels perfect. Some of these titles are timeless classics that have aged like fine wine, and some are newer releases that everyone's talking about this year. So grab your controller, your keyboard, or whatever you play on, and let's jump right in. I promise, there's something here for every kind of gamer. Dishonored 2 is one of those games that just makes you feel like a total stealth legend. Whether you're slipping through shadows, taking out targets with creative gadgets, or simply exploring the beautifully twisted world of Karnaka, every choice feels meaningful. I love how the game lets you approach situations however you want. You can go in guns blazing or sneak past everyone without leaving a trace, and somehow both feel equally satisfying. The powers are just so fun to experiment with, and honestly, sometimes you'll pull off something so clever that you can't help but laugh at your own genius plan. It's intense, it's stylish, and it's a world you'll want to spend hours just wandering through, discovering all the little secrets tucked into every corner. Control Ultimate Edition is one of those games that grabs you from the first moment and doesn't let go. Playing as Jesse Faden, you step into the mysterious Federal Bureau of Control, and honestly, the atmosphere is just chef's kiss, perfect, eerie, strange, and full of surprises around every corner. The way the story unfolds keeps you guessing, and the supernatural powers you get to play with, absolutely satisfying. Launching objects, levitating through the air, or bending reality itself never gets old, and it's one of those games where you pause just to soak in the details of the world. Sometimes it's intense, sometimes it's a little spooky, but mostly it's just ridiculously fun to feel that kind of raw, chaotic power in your hands. Final Fantasy XVI is a total spectacle, blending epic fantasy storytelling with some of the most thrilling combat in the series. The world of Valisthea feels alive and massive, filled with kingdoms at war, political intrigue, and massive summons that will honestly make you stop and just stare for a second. The combat is fast, fluid, and satisfying. Every spell, sword swing, and summon feels impactful, like you're really shaping the story with your own hands. And the narrative? It's dramatic, emotional, and sometimes heartbreaking, but in that good way that keeps you hooked from start to finish. If you love a game that's both cinematic and exhilarating to play, this one definitely belongs on your must-play list.
Nice try.
Sifu is an absolute joy if you love fast-paced, skill-based combat. The martial arts here feel precise and satisfying, and the unique aging mechanic adds this crazy layer of tension every time you fail. Your character gets older, which makes each fight feel weighty and personal. You'll find yourself learning patterns, experimenting with moves, and slowly mastering each encounter. And when you finally pull off a perfect combo, it's just chef's kiss, pure satisfaction. The level design and story are simple but effective, letting the combat shine front and center. Honestly, it's one of those games that can frustrate you and thrill you at the same time, but in the best way possible. Hollow Knight is a masterpiece of atmosphere and exploration. From the moment you step into Hallownest, the world just pulls you in with its hauntingly beautiful art, subtle storytelling, and mysterious corners waiting to be discovered. The combat is tight and challenging, but fair, and each new ability you unlock makes you feel like you're really growing alongside your little knight. Sometimes it's a little tough, and yeah, you might die a lot, but that's part of the charm. Every victory feels hard-earned and deeply satisfying. Honestly, wandering through the interconnected world, uncovering secrets, and facing bizarre, unforgettable enemies is just pure magic that keeps you coming back for more. Returnal is one of those games that instantly grabs you with its intense, fast-paced action and keeps you on your toes the whole time. Playing as Celine, you're trapped on an alien planet with time looping against you, and honestly, the tension is unreal. Every encounter can go from thrilling to oh no in a second. The way the world constantly shifts keeps things feeling fresh, and the gunplay is sharp and satisfying, making every fight feel meaningful. Plus, the story slowly unfolds in these mysterious, sometimes haunting ways that make you want to keep pushing forward, even after failing multiple times. It's challenging, it's exciting, and somehow it just clicks in that addictive, one more run kind of way. God of War 2018 is an absolute masterpiece that completely redefines what a single-player action game can feel like. Stepping into Kratos' world with his son, Atreus adds this incredible emotional depth. The father-son dynamic is heartfelt, sometimes funny, and occasionally tense in the best way. The combat is visceral and satisfying, blending brutal weapon strikes with epic cinematic moments, and the Norse mythology setting is breathtakingly detailed, exploring Midgard and beyond, uncovering secrets, and facing enormous, awe-inspiring enemies makes you feel like you're part of an epic saga. Honestly, it's hard not to get a little nostalgic for each perfectly crafted moment, and it's a game you'll remember long after the credits roll. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is a game that honestly feels endless in the best way possible. You step into Geralt's shoes and immediately get lost in a world that's massive, alive, and full of stories that stick with you, from monster contracts to intense personal quests. The combat is engaging, but it's really the writing, the characters, and the choices that make it unforgettable. Every decision has weight, and sometimes it sneaks up on you emotionally, making you laugh, gasp, or even feel a little guilty. The sheer scale of the world, combined with all the little details hidden in every corner, makes it one of those games you'll keep thinking about long after you put it down. Life is Strange. True Colors is one of those games that hits you right in the emotions. Playing as Alex Chen, who can feel and absorb the emotions of everyone around her, makes the story deeply personal and immersive. The choices you make actually matter, and seeing how people react or how events unfold differently really pulls you into the world. The soundtrack, the dialogue, and the little moments between characters just make everything feel so real. Honestly, there are times where you'll sit back and just feel what's happening with Alex and the people around her, and that's exactly what makes this game so memorable. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is a total thrill for anyone who's ever wanted to step into the shoes of a Jedi. You get to swing your lightsaber, pull off force powers, and navigate a world that feels alive with danger and discovery. The story keeps you invested, with characters and moments that make you care about what's happening, while the combat is fast, fluid, and incredibly satisfying. There are times you'll pause just to take in the scenery or marvel at a perfectly timed force move. And honestly, it's hard not to feel like a total hero while playing. If you've ever dreamed of wielding a lightsaber and taking on impossible odds, this game nails it. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 5 is a total blast, especially if you've grown up loving the series. The fights feel epic, the visuals are stunning, and it really captures the spirit of the anime in a way that's just fun to play. Whether you're reenacting iconic battles or diving into the story mode, the game does a great job of making every encounter feel dynamic and exciting. The combos, special moves, and flashy finishers keep you engaged. And honestly, there are moments that'll make you grin or even laugh at how over the top it all can get in the best way. It's fast, it's stylish, and for Naruto fans, it's an absolute must-play.
Where's he hiding? Where's he hiding?
The Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe, is one of those games that's just delightfully weird. You play as Stanley, wandering through an office where things are definitely not what they seem, and the game constantly surprises you with clever twists, unexpected humor, and choices that actually make you think. It's funny, it's absurd, and sometimes it'll even make you pause and laugh out loud at how brilliantly it plays with your expectations. Beyond the humor, it's also surprisingly reflective, making you question the idea of choice and consequence in games, all while keeping you entertained the entire time.
Just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Recore Definitive Edition is such a fun mix of action, exploration, and clever puzzle solving. Playing as Jewel, you team up with these adorable robotic companions, and each one has unique abilities that make combat and traversal feel fresh and engaging. The world feels alive, with hidden areas and secrets that reward your curiosity, and the fast-paced action keeps you on your toes the whole time. Honestly, there's something really satisfying about experimenting with different strategies in combat and seeing your little robot allies in action. It's a charming, energetic experience that's easy to get lost in.
That's the last of them. Did you see their frames, Mac? They were all corroded. I don't like it either, but we need to keep going.
Tales of Arise is a fantastic story-driven RPG that really knows how to pull you into its world. The characters are memorable, the narrative is full of twists and emotional moments, and the combat system is fast, fluid, and incredibly satisfying. Traveling across the beautifully designed continents, uncovering secrets, and facing off against epic bosses makes every moment feel meaningful. There's a sense of adventure and discovery around every corner, and honestly, you can't help but get invested in the friendships, struggles, and victories of the party. It's the kind of game that reminds you why Jerk Kex can be so captivating. Ghost of Tsushima is pure cinematic magic. Stepping into Jin Sakai's shoes as he fights to protect Tsushima Island, you immediately get lost in the stunning landscapes, from misty forests to sweeping coastlines. The combat is smooth and satisfying, with every sword strike and parry feeling weighty and impactful, and the freedom to approach battles as a stealthy ghost or honorable samurai gives you total control over your experience. Beyond the action, the story hits hard moments of honor, sacrifice, and personal growth make you really care about Jin and those around him. Honestly, wandering through the world, taking in the sights, and facing enemies in such a beautifully crafted setting is something every gamer should experience at least once. Deathloop is such a wild ride, and it's impossible not to get hooked on its time loop madness. Playing as Colt, you're trying to break the cycle while facing clever enemies and figuring out the perfect strategies to take them out. And the way the loop resets keeps every run feeling fresh. The combat is stylish and fun, with a ton of weapons and powers to experiment with. And honestly, sometimes you'll pull off combos that are so satisfying you can't help but grin. The story, the characters, and the chaotic energy of the world all come together perfectly, making Deathloop one of those games where you'll keep thinking, just one more run far longer than you intended. Outer Wilds is one of those games that completely blows your mind with its sense of wonder and discovery. You're exploring a tiny, mysterious solar system, and every planet has secrets, puzzles, and surprises that make you feel like a true space explorer. The time loop mechanic adds this incredible tension and curiosity. You're always learning, experimenting, and discovering new ways the universe connects, and every little revelation hits in such a satisfying way. Honestly, it's the kind of game that makes you pause just to marvel at how clever and beautiful it all is, and the feeling of uncovering something truly hidden. Unforgettable. Resident Evil Village is a masterclass in tense, atmospheric horror. From the creepy villages to the hauntingly detailed castles, every location feels alive and full of danger. Playing as Ethan, you're constantly on edge, whether you're solving puzzles, sneaking past terrifying enemies, or facing monstrous bosses that are as memorable as they are challenging. The story keeps you invested, and the mix of action and horror is just perfectly balanced, giving you that thrilling heartbeat in your chest feeling without ever overdoing it. Honestly, it's a game that keeps you hooked from start to finish, and the experience is unforgettable if you enjoy a good scare mixed with solid gameplay. BioShock, the collection, is an absolute classic that never loses its magic. Whether you're exploring the underwater city of Rapture or the floating city of Columbia, the atmosphere is hauntingly beautiful and full of surprises. The storytelling is top-notch, blending mystery, moral choices, and unforgettable characters that stick with you long after you stop playing. The combat and powers are fun to experiment with, but honestly, it's the world building and the small details that make it truly special. Every twist and reveal feels rewarding, and playing through these games is like experiencing a series of cinematic masterpieces, one after another. Hades is an absolute thrill from start to finish. Every run feels fresh, fast-paced, and satisfying, with the combat system letting you chain combos and experiment with powers in ways that never get old. The story is surprisingly deep for a rogue like you. Actually get to know the gods, uncover secrets, and see relationships develop over time, which makes every death feel meaningful instead of frustrating. The art, music, and dialogue all combine to create this incredible atmosphere that's equal parts intense and charming. Honestly, it's one of those games where you'll keep saying, just one more run, And before you know it, hours have flown by without you even realizing. And that wraps up our list of 20 must-play single-player games you can't miss in 2025. Whether you're chasing epic stories, unforgettable worlds, or just games that are pure fun to play, there's something here for every kind of gamer. I'd love to hear which of these games you've already played and which ones you're most excited to try next seriously. Some of these titles can eat up hours before you even realize it. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future gaming content. And hey, drop a comment below letting me know your personal must-play single-player favorite. I'm always curious to see what everyone's picking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.